All right. Good evening, you guys. Tonight for our master class, we are going to be doing it's like a meditation. It's called the microcosmic orbit. And we've done it in the yin class. We're going to do it tonight. I want to do it tonight because it is it is a practice that you can actually do throughout the day. It is a Taoist technique. And what it does is it moves energy from the front of the body around the back. So you're literally orbiting the energy through the front and the back of the body. So where it starts is at the pubic bone. So if you're here, it starts at the pubic bone and it drops down, goes under the floor of the pelvis, comes up the spine, comes around the neck, comes up the head, and then goes to the forehead. That's your inhale. When you exhale, it then goes from the forehead back down to the top of the pubic bone. So that is how the breath works. Inhale, it goes from the top of the pubic bone, wraps around under the pelvis, comes up the back, goes around the neck, the top of the head to the forehead, exhale, and it comes back down. So that is the actual pathway of the energy that we're imagining, the actual orbit. And it's really considered a circling of light. And it is a way of gathering up stray energies. And the reason why that is important is because, you know, in this practice, what happens a lot of times with energy is it gets stuck, it's stagnant. And what we want to do is we want to have as much available energy as possible. So through activating this microcosmic orbit, the reservoirs of the governing vessel in the body where our energy is stored, which is here in the main core of the body, we're able to access it. And then what it does is it makes this energy more available to all the other meridians. And that's important because those meridians are basically the fuel to our organs. It keeps our organs healthy. And it's important because it's in a lot of the Eastern philosophies and alternative medicines, it's really all about your organ health. So circulating the microcosmic orbit, it can be done before you do a yoga practice. It can be done before meditation. You can even do it, throughout the day. You can even do it at the beginning of Shavasana. So we're going to do it at the beginning of class today. And I want you to think about the reason why it's beneficial is because it is helping us access the most important energies in our body, right? We're activating those stray energies and we're pulling it all in so that energy is flowing in the proper way. Okay, so we're going to start with that. Let's go ahead and get started. You want to sit comfortably. So you do want to be in a meditation position, seated, and you can either plant yourself into a chair or you can sit cross-legged if that's comfortable. A lot of times, if you're not used to doing this, what you might need to do is prop yourself up higher, maybe a couple of blankets, or you can get a meditation pillow called a zafu. You can get a zafu. That is always helpful. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and just let the hands rest, palms down on the thighs, and then close your eyes. And let the breath settle. So we are dealing again with another very Vata day. If you are out today, it's windy, and that is going to push Vata out of balance. And what is Vata? Vata is the ether air, and it's movement. And when we get too much movement, it very much affects the nervous system. So we begin our practice today by settling the breath, closing the eyes, connecting with the body. And then bringing awareness in your mind's eye of that location above the pubic bone. Identify where it is. Below the belly button, above the pubic bone. And this is our beginning place for that orbiting path of light. And what we'll do is on our next inhale, you'll in the mind's eye, or you can feel that light move from the pubic bone down across the bottom of the pelvis, up the spine, up through the neck. From the back of the head, it comes around and then goes to the forehead. And then exhale, you move then from the forehead down the front of the body, back to the pubic bone. Inhale, that light moves around, comes up the spine, around the head. Exhale, moves from the third eye, down the front of the body, back to the pubic bone. And continue with that. You're imagining this orbiting, circling light, following it with the mind's eye, following the breath. Imagine that you can feel warmth of light moving in this orbiting circle. Stay connected to the breath. Stay connected to that orbiting circle of light. Just continue to stay with the circle of light. We have 10 more breaths. Good. And then from there, we're going to open our eyes. And I want you to set an intention because we are again working with Vata energies today. And what we want to do is create stability Move through your practice, calming, moving a little slower, being deliberate, grounded. And we're going to start by opening up the arms, reaching upward. And then you're going to grab the right wrist and pull to the side. And then lift up. And grab the left wrist and pull to the side. And then lift up. Release your arms behind you. Interlace your fingers. Draw your navel in and open up the chest. Look up. Then moving slowly, rotating to the right side as you release the interlace. Pause there. And again, moving slowly, rotating now to the left. And again, we pause. Good. And then from there, reaching your arms up. And we're going to drop forward and come into a crawling position. So you're going to come up into a crawling position. From here, we're going to drop the belly down. Open up the chest. Look up. And then round. Curl your toes under and press back into down dog. We're moving more slowly because we're trying to calm the Vata. Calm that air and ether. And then drop back down onto your knees. Drop the belly and look up. And then round. Again, you're rounding. Curl your toes under. And push back into down dog. And one more time. Drop back down onto your knees. And then look up. And then rounding through the spine. Curl your toes under and press back. Down dog. Hold it here. Take a few breaths. Draw the navel in. Stay strong and steady. And then drop back down onto your knees. This time what we're going to do is make sure that our wrists are right underneath the shoulders, and then separate your knees so that the knees are right underneath the hip. Then look up and extend your right leg straight out, and then add the left arm. Be really strong and stable here. What does Vata need? Vata needs stability. Calm down the face. Settle the breath. Keep the navel lifting. Then release the left arm down, and you're going to push back into three-legged dog. Pause there. Then stepping that right leg forward, we're going to go into a lunge. Hold the lunge. Strong and steady. We're going to bring the right hand. So if you want to use a block, you can. The right hand's going to come to the inside of the right foot. Or you can come up on the knee, on the thigh. So that's going to be a more modified version to bring the arm up on the thigh. Drop your back heel and then open up. Extend that left arm alongside the ear. Parsvakonasana. And we hold, steady, strong. Soften the face. Bring a sense of steadiness into the pose. Settle the body down. Make sure the breath is moving with ease, because Vata needs that, needs it to be calm, relaxed, but strong. And then swinging that arm around and step back to down dog. Drop down onto your knees. Make sure that your hands and your wrists are right underneath the shoulders again. The knees are separated, right underneath the hips. And now the left leg extends with the right arm. And you do want to look up. And then the hand comes down. Press back into three-legged dog. And pause there. Draw your right heel down. Navel in. Hold it. And then stepping that left leg forward. Going into a lunge. Same thing. We hold it. Hold it there. So we get into the pose and we want to bring a bit of stillness. So once you get set up, we're trying to settle quick, fast, abrupt movements, creating stability in the body for that Vata to calm down. Then dropping that back heel, same thing. You're going to bring the left hand, but now on the inside of the left foot, or you can come up on the thigh. Okay, that's going to be a more modified version to come up. And then the right arm opens up and goes alongside the ear. Settle the breath. Relax the face. Stay strong in the pose, steady. Then swing the arm around. And again, step back, down dog. Pause there. We're taking our time in each one of these poses. And it forces us to slow down when we do that. So instead of running around, being quick, quick, fast, fast, we slow everything down. And then from there, we're going to actually shift forward and come down onto the tummy. So you want to go down on your tummy. And at first, we're just here on the forearm. And that's variation 1. Variation 1. So it's the most modified version that we're going to do. Your legs are going to be coming right out of the hip. okay? So not too wide with the legs, but not too close. Just right. Goldilocks. Okay? So this is variation 1. The next variation is to take your hands above your mat and push into the palm of the hand, but you want to drop the shoulders down. So you're up a little higher now. Now try to settle the back. Keep drawing your navel in, but relax in that low back. And if you feel like you have more, then you're going to come up. So now I'm moving my hands. I have half the hand on the floor and half on my mat. Drop your shoulders. Keep drawing your navel in. And then coming up even higher, drop the shoulders. Relax your face. Settle the Vata. And then maybe one more time, come up a little bit higher. See if you can. Drop your shoulders down the back. Draw the navel in. Relax the face. Keep the chin pulled in. And then relax. You're going to go from there, lower. Remember, you do not have to go up that high when you're doing it. Press back. And you're going to shift into extended prayer. Drop your forehead down. Good. We're going back into a crawling position now. Hands are going to be making sure the wrists are underneath the shoulder, and then your knees are underneath your hips. Right leg extends out with the arm. Draw the navel in, so strong and steady. This is really good, by the way, for your low back. Grab your foot. Lift up. Okay, so I'm going to turn to the side, you guys can see what we're doing. So what you're going to do now is you're going to release the leg. The left hand comes back to the ground, and then that right leg goes out to the side. Take it out to the side, plant it on the ground. Okay? Got that? Then you're going to come up. Lift up. Lift your toes now, and then drop down to the side. Open up. And then go to the other side. Open up. Whole side body, whole front of the body. And that right hand is going to be palm down, thumbs reaching back behind you, and then anchor that right foot into the ground. Open the front of the body. Then we swing around and go back into that extended leg. So you're holding it there. The right leg is up, and then press into three-legged dog. Step that leg forward for a high lunge. Strong and steady. Soften the face. Right hand comes to the inside of that right foot, or you're going to come up on the thigh, or you can use a block. Drop your back heel And again, we open up Parsvakonasana. We are doing a add-on. So you're staying in the same leg position, but then your right arm is going to reach up and you're going to give energy to that. I'm sorry, left arm. It's going to reach up and then the left arm reaches and now your right arm lifts. Go into warrior 4. Keep the knee bent. Strong, but soften your face. Turn your head and look up at your right arm. Then straighten the front leg. You might need to adjust your back foot, pull it in a little bit, and then slide right down into Trikonasana. If you're using a block, it goes on the baby toe side of the foot, as well as planting your hand on the baby toe side of the foot. Both legs straight. Both legs straight. Lift your kneecaps. And then swing that left arm around. You're going to go back into the high lunge here. What we're trying for Vata is abrupt in any movements. So we're taking our time, moving very methodically, incrementally. Then pick up your foot and take it back, down dog. We are going to add a plank here. So you shift now into plank and you can modify to your knees if you need to. And we hold that plank. Be so steady, strong like a mountain. And if you need to modify to your knees, lower from there. Keep your elbows close to your sides. Go all the way down, flatten out your feet. Roll your shoulders back and then push up into Cobra. Bhujanasana. Draw the navel in. Press back now. Extended prayer and pause there. Coming back up into a crawling position. Again, wrists are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. Separate your feet a little bit. Left leg extends straight out. Okay, then extend your right arm. Hold it there. Get really strong and stable. Remember how great this is for your back. Really great for your back. Then reach back and grab your foot. Lift. And then release from there. Now we're going to take that left leg and move it out to the side. It goes on the ground, remember? And then you plant the foot. From there, lift up. Lift your toes, and now open to the side. Then taking it to the right side, you take the right hand down, drop the left foot to the floor, and then open up. Open up the whole front of the body. Palm is down, and then move back behind you. So that thumb keeps reaching back behind you. You're opening up the whole front of the body. Keep anchoring the foot down. Then shifting forward, and then that left leg goes back. It stays lifted. Curl your toes under on the right foot, and now press back, three-legged dog. Hold it there. Very deliberate. Then stepping that left leg forward, back into a high lunge, and we pause. So if you're using a block, it's going to go on the inside big toe side of the foot, or you can come up on the thigh, drop your right heel down, or the hand can go on the ground, and then open up with the right arm going alongside the ear, Parshvottanasana. Remember, we have an add-on. My dog is drinking water. All right, then the right arm reaches straight up to the ceiling. And remember, we're going to be reaching up, giving energy to that right arm and lifting ourselves up very slowly, deliberately. And then drop the right hand to the back of the right leg. Open up the left arm, turn your head and look up at that arm. Keep your knee bent on that left leg. So strong. Then straightening that leg, and you might want to adjust your back foot, slide it in a little bit because both legs now go straight. And we drop right down into Trikonasana. If you're using a block, it goes on the baby toe side of the foot. The hand goes to the ground, baby toe side of the foot. Both legs straight. Line up the torso with the front leg and hold it. Be steady, calming the face. Calming the body down. Very slowly, with intention, swinging that right arm around. Go back into a high lunge. Pause there. Then stepping back into down dog. Again, pause there. Shifting into plank. And again, pause. And then from there, you can modify to your knees and lower. Press up, Bhujanasana, and pause. Hold it there. Then from there, push back, extended prayer. Pause there. Make sure that your butt is going a little lower. So open up the knees a little wider so that your butt can drop a little lower to your heels. That will help. And then from there, coming up into a down dog, Adho Mukha Savasana. We are doing a new sequence, so picking up the right leg and step forward for warrior one. Drop your back heel. Going into warrior one, reach up. So we are going to drop low here. Make sure that the right hip's back, left hip's forward, tailbone is in neutral, navel is drawing in, hands then come to the heart and reach up. Keep your back heel down. So we're strong and steady in the pose, but then soften your face. Vata needs calm, strong, stable. And then from there, we're going to release our arms back behind us. Interlace your fingers. You're going to drop the torso, and it's either going to rest on the front thigh or go to the inside. So very carefully, very deliberately, we're not moving fast. We're moving slow tonight. So you drop. That torso goes onto the thigh. Release the head, lift the arms up, or you drop to the inside. The arms keep lifting up. Make sure you're relaxing your head. Hold it there. Lay down. Go lay down. Marvy, go lay down. Go lay down. Okay, then from there, you're going to step back into down dog. Hold down dog. And we're going to repeat this on the other side. So now from down dog, you pick up the left leg and step the left leg forward. And again, we go into warrior one, Virabhadrasana 1. And reach up. Okay. Before you reach up though, draw the left hip back, tailbone down, right hip forward. Keep that back heel driving down. Navel in, hands to the heart, reach. Look up, but then soften your face. So no straining in the face, no straining in the body, but you're holding steady. Holding steady and relax in it. Be a mountain. Be strong. And then from there, releasing your arms, interlace your fingers behind you. And again, dropping the torso either to the top of the thigh, you're going to drop to the inside. Open up and then drop. And the head releases, drop to the inside, lift the arms up off the back. Relax your head. Steady. Then releasing your hands down. Very deliberately move that left leg back. Down dog. Shift into plank. Strong. Modify to your knees if you need to. Then slowly lower. Push back up into Bhujanasana, Cobra. Come up. Drop your shoulders. And release back. Extended prayer. Open up your knees. Drop the forehead down. So from there, I'm just going to turn so you can see what we're doing. You're going to lift up. Take your legs to the right side. Rest that top foot into the arch of the bottom foot, and then rotate to the left side. And then release, and from there, extend your right leg out. So the right leg extends, and then that right arm rests on that leg. Open up, lean to the right side, and then take the left arm, reach. Very slowly move into that pose. We're moving slow, deliberate. Keep opening up the shoulder girdle on the left side so you're not collapsing. You keep opening up the left side of the chest. Good, and then sitting up. That right leg comes in. Both legs come together. And hold. Just gonna lift up. Then grab behind the legs and lift your legs up. And pause. You can hold it right here. If you've got a little more stability and strength tonight, then release your arms. Maybe you can even extend your legs straight. Strong and steady. Navel in. And if this is too much, grab the legs, you guys. It's fine. Just keep the chest lifted. And then drawing those feet in. Feet are together. And we go forward into Vata Konasana. So your heels come into the groin. Press the arms down and drop the head forward. Good, and then from there, lifting up. Lift up. Good. And now we take our legs to the other side. So you're going to drop your legs now to the left. And then that top foot rests in the arch of the bottom foot. Rotate to the right. And releasing out of that, extending the left leg straight out. Left arm goes right onto that leg. Right arm reaches up. Keep opening up the right side of the chest. Slowly lower to the left. Good. And then from there, slowly, slowly lifting up. And again, we're going to bring our legs in, but this time we're going to lay onto our back. So just shift your hips forward, lay back, find your heels, and then press into your feet to lift up into bridge. Then you're going to bring your arms up and the hands are going to come together right above the chest. Keep pushing into your feet and make sure that your knees and your hips, front of the hips, are lined up. So don't let your knees open up too wide. They need to stay in more narrow, not touching, but narrow. Arms are up. Then you're going to let the arms release above the head. Open up the arms, drop back down, and then interlace underneath you. Push into your feet, go a little higher. Steady, right? We're holding, soften the face. Steady in that pose. Push into the feet, go higher. Strong, strengthening that back body for Vata, stability in the core. Good, and then from there, release down, release your interlace, drop the pelvis down, draw the knees in, and find the baby toe side of your foot, then press your sacrum into the ground so that you bring your lumbar curve back. Draw your knees into the armpits. Good, and then from there, you're going to release the feet down. Take your right leg and place it on top of the left. Draw the left leg up. You're going to thread the right hand through behind that leg. Draw the left knee in, right knee moves away. and then release, and we're switching sides. So now the left leg comes up, goes on top of the right thigh. Draw that right knee in, thread the left hand through the legs, grab behind the right hamstring, draw the right knee in, left knee moves away. Good, and then from there, we're going to do a reverse forward fold. So it means that you have to lift your legs up. Now, if this doesn't work for you, you're just going to do a regular forward fold. Here's your regular forward fold. Reverse forward fold means you go onto your back, the legs go up. It is not a plow, you guys. You're going to grab the toes, pull the feet down, and at the same time, pull the butt down. You want to keep the legs lined up so the ankles and the hips are in the same line. The toes are not further down. So if you start pulling the toes down, you got to balance that out. Drop down through your hips and hold. Keep those legs straight. And you're holding. If you're in the reverse forward fold, you want to settle the body. Be really strong. This is requiring a lot of core strength. Then to come out of it, you're going to release your hands from the toes, lower, lift up, use momentum, and then come all the way up. Right leg comes up and rotate. Keep the chest lifted, rotate to the right. And then release and rotate to the left, pull the left knee up. Good, and then extending both legs, reach forward into another forward fold, drop the head. All right, and then from there, we go back onto our backs. Push up into a bridge as a counter posture for that forward fold. And then release down and set yourself up for Shavasana. So Vatas, or if you have a Vata imbalance, Vata requires a longer Shavasana. It's more benefit. They need more sleep in general, right? Vatas need more sleep, right? Their nervous system needs it. So we're going to do a little bit longer Shavasana. If you can support the low back with a bolster, go ahead and do that. Cover yourself up. Make sure you're warm. Hands are going to rest at the upper thigh on the sides. Draw your shoulder blades underneath you. Close your eyes and relax. Cover your eyes either with a dark cloth an eye pillow or an eye mask. And settle that body. We want to move the body into stillness. Let the breath slow down. And then bring the mind into stillness. And as a practice to help the mind move into stillness, you can follow the breath. Let the mind follow the breath. Noticing the inhale and the pause after the inhale. Feeling, experiencing, and noticing the exhale and the pause after the exhale, and lingering a little bit longer in that pause after the exhale. Stay with the breath. Create that peaceful stillness for Vata. And what we're doing with stillness is creating a physical container for the Vata to settle down. Moving slowly, being strong and steady like a mountain. There's consistency, solidity. And that allows the mind, the wind, the movement of the body to settle. Notice relaxation deepens as we lay in Shavasana. You can move deeper and deeper into relaxation. The brain waves slow down. Feel your skin around you soften and relax. Imagine that you are delicate, like a flower. Hold the body with reverence. Treat yourself with love and kindness, as if you are absolutely precious and delicate. Soften everything. Create a softness. Good. And then from there, bring awareness into the breath and deepen your breath. Come back to awareness of that orbiting light that moves from the top of the pubic bone, around the bottom of the pelvis, up the spine, up over the head to the third eye. And then when you exhale, it moves from the third eye back down to the top of the pubic bone. And just do a couple of circular orbiting motions. So move through that pathway. Inhale, it moves from the top of the pubic bone, around, up the spine, up over the head to the third eye. Exhale, it moves from the third eye down back to the pubic bone. And then gently, slowly roll to your right side. Pause there for a moment. And then slowly bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position. And once you get yourself seated, again, we're moving more slowly, settling that Vata, being very calm. Bring your hands together and connect your thumbs to your heart. Close your eyes for a moment. Anchor in that stillness. Relax the whole body. And you can repeat to yourself, I am calm. I am settled. I am strong. I am stable. Namaste.